Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë is a groundbreaking novel that tells the story of an orphaned girl's journey to independence, love, and self-fulfillment in Victorian England. Written in 1847, the novel explores themes of social class, gender equality, and the conflict between passion and morality, making it a pioneering work in feminist literature. The story begins with young Jane Eyre, an orphaned girl raised by her cruel Aunt Reed at Gateshead. Jane is constantly mistreated and emotionally neglected, but she remains strong-willed and self-assured. After a particularly traumatic experience, she is sent away to Lowood Institution, a charity school for orphaned girls. At Lowood, Jane endures harsh conditions and strict discipline, but finds a friend in Helen Burns, a fellow student, and a role model in Miss Temple, one of the teachers. Helen's death from tuberculosis, however, leaves a lasting impact on Jane, reinforcing her understanding of injustice and the fragility of life. As she grows up, Jane becomes a teacher at Lowood, but eventually seeks new opportunities and accepts a position as a governess at Thornfield Hall, where she meets the enigmatic and wealthy Mr. Rochester. Over time, Jane and Rochester develop a deep and complex bond, and Jane realizes she has fallen in love with him. Rochester, despite his social standing and wealth, is also captivated by Jane's intellect, honesty, and strong moral character, finding in her an equal rather than a subordinate. Their relationship takes a dark turn when, on the day of their wedding, Jane discovers that Rochester is already married to a woman named Bertha Mason, who is mentally ill and kept hidden in Thornfield's attic. Devastated and unwilling to compromise her moral principles, Jane leaves Thornfield despite her love for Rochester, choosing independence over a life of moral ambiguity. After leaving Thornfield, Jane encounters new hardships, but eventually finds refuge with the Rivers family, who later turn out to be her cousins. She also inherits a fortune from her late uncle, providing her with financial independence. St. John Rivers, a devout clergyman, proposes to Jane and asks her to join him as a missionary in India. However, Jane realizes that she cannot marry without love and remains true to her heart. In the end, Jane returns to Thornfield, only to find it in ruins, having been destroyed by a fire set by Bertha. Rochester, who lost his eyesight and a hand in the fire while trying to save Bertha, is now vulnerable and isolated. Jane, seeing Rochester's humility and recognizing their renewed equality, reconciles with him. They marry, and Jane finally achieves happiness and a sense of belonging, finding both love and independence on her own terms. Jane Eyre is more than a romance. It is a story of resilience, self-respect, and moral fortitude. Jane's journey is a testament to the strength of character and the desire for equality and respect. Through Jane's life, Brontë critiques the rigid social norms of the time, ultimately advocating for women's independence and the right to love and respect on equal terms. The novel remains an enduring classic for its portrayal of a woman's inner strength and the timeless search for self-identity and justice.